Chapter 11b. Today I want to talk about the use of adjectives. I want to introduce the adjectives. It's a concept that we're going to be working later on in the chapters that follow. But I want to give you an introduction and probably you will have a review on this. Adjectives basically are words that we use to describe nouns. For example, when you talk about a table, for example, things that you say about the table are going to be adjectives. So you can say many things about the table. You can say that the table is big. You can say that the table is blue. You can say that the table is convenient. You can say that the table is beautiful. All these words that you use to describe the table are adjectives. Now, how we use this in Spanish? How we use adjectives in Spanish? Well, the way we do that in Spanish is that when you use adjective in Spanish, you have words like bonito or bonita, beautiful, could be masculine or feminine. Alto or alta could be masculine or feminine. Delgado or delgada could be, delgado is tight, which is something thin, right? So it could be masculine, feminine. Activo, active could be also masculine or feminine. So always what you do basically is you refer to a noun. In this case, casa, for example. So usually in Spanish, what we do is the adjective, instead of going in front, as we do in English, you say the beautiful house, the adjective usually goes after. So you say la casa bonita. That's the first thing you should keep in mind. That's when you are writing a sentence and you have to use an adjective means a word that is describing the noun, in this case casa. The adjective usually goes after the noun. Instead of saying the beautiful house, in Spanish you say the house beautiful. Now, the second thing that you should keep in mind is that in Spanish we match the sentence. So if casa is a noun, is a feminine noun because it's ending with an A, well, in this case, the adjective that follows is going to be also feminine and it's going to be also singular because it's only one house. So you see, la is feminine singular, casa is feminine singular, and bonita is feminine singular. If instead of saying la casa I say plural, I say las casas, and then the adjective also will have to be bonitas. So the main rule about the adjectives is that first, most of the times they go after the noun and they have to match. If the word that you refer, casa or casas, is feminine and is singular or is plural, the adjective that follow will have to be also at the same level. It has to be, in this case, feminine and also plural. For example, when you have el libro bonito, well, in this case, you're saying the beautiful book. You see, libro is the word that you're describing, book is the word that you're describing. So the adjective has to go after, and it has to be also masculine. It has to be at the same level as the noun that you're describing. La mesa pequeña, the small table. Pequeña goes after the small table. Small goes after. Mesa is feminine. Pequeña is going to be also feminine. Los amigos buenos, the good friends, right? Good friends. In Spanish, friends good, right? So it has to be amigos is masculine plural, and then you have buenos has to be also masculine plural. El auto rojo, the red car. Auto is the car, right? Is masculine singular. Rojo has to be also masculine singular. La mujer alta. La mujer alta is the tall woman. In this case, la mujer is feminine. Alta has to be feminine because it's singular and is feminine. So remember, the main rule is an adjective is the word that describes a noun. Remember, in Spanish, usually goes after the noun instead of in front, like we do in English, and it has to be a match. Masculine, masculine, feminine, feminine, masculine, singular, masculine, singular, masculine, plural, and so on. Okay. Now, usually, students they make mistakes when they form adjectives because they have problems like this. For example, la casa bonito. Well, the problem here is that the adjective is placed in the right place, but you see, casa is a feminine noun, so it should be bonita instead of bonito. You see what the problem is? This is wrong because it should be la casa bonita, no bonito. Now, el rojo libro. Well, the problem here is that these two are masculine, right? But the problem is that it should be el libro rojo. Rojo, the adjective should go after the noun. La mujer alto. Well, you see, mujer is woman, so should be alta, should be feminine, should be at the same level, okay? El carro roja. Well, the same problem. Carro is masculine singular, should be rojo. So be careful with that because that's the way it should be. La alta casa. Well, the problem here is that it should be la casa alta. First the noun and then the adjective, okay? In this case, both are feminine, is correct, but should be like that. Los niños rápidas. Los niños rápidos. And then la blanca cuaderno should be el cuaderno blanco. Should be, this has two problems. This has the problem, the first problem is that it's in front, should be after, and the second problem is that should be also, masculine singular, should be el cuaderno blanco. So I hope you get these concepts about, how we use the adjectives, and we will continue working on this concept later on.